Alright, first time on the channel, we're going to be oil filling a quartz watch. Notice I said quartz. We can only do this with quartz watches. If you try this with an automatic watch, you're going to ruin your watch, so just giving you a heads up. Here's our before shot. You can see there's a lot of glare, and I'm not happy with how the face looks on this watch, which is why I want to try this process. And we're going to use this micro lubral oil. It is silicone oil, and make sure it is a 50 viscosity. It's got to be a very thin oil. That's extremely important. If you listen to nothing else in this video, make sure that you get 100% silicone with a viscosity of 50. So what I'm doing here is I took the case back off, and we're going to simply fill up this microwavable Chinese takeout dish. You can use anything just as long as you're encapsulating the liquid. And as you can see, I am pouring the liquid in very liberally. And what I want to do is I want to get that level of liquid just a little bit above the watch to make sure that we're getting all the silicone in. Most people will take the crown off. Here, I'm just simply tilting it, so tilting the movement, as you see here, which requires you taking the movement holder out. And you'll see the movement holder later when I put it back in, but it's just that plastic movement holder. You take it out, and I take this chopstick, and I'm literally just tilting the movement, pouring a little bit more. I mean, I just poured a whole bottle at this point, and whatever I don't use, I'm just going to pour it back in. And what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that the oil gets beyond this movement so that it'll be right on the face of the watch. So when you're looking at the watch, it's getting into that area with the hands, the numerals. So I'm getting the liquid into that area. But the proper way, which is most people are going to be intimidated by, is to take the crown out, remove the movement. Very intimidating to the beginner. So if you're careful and you tilt it just slightly, you don't want to tilt it too much because you will bend the stem of the crown. Here is that movement holder. So you definitely want to put that back in. But again, with that crown stem, you don't want to bend it back too far because it will snap and break, and then you will have no access to essentially manipulating your handset and winding. Obviously you're not going to be winding the watch, but you're not going to be able to change the time because the crown will not, the crown stem will not, if it's broken, it cannot communicate with the watch. So you don't want to do that. So now what we're doing is we are putting the case back on. What I did was I bounced the watch a little bit just to kind of remove some bubbles. So you want to kind of tap the watch in the liquid so that you're removing bubbles, making it come to the surface. Now, I would not recommend this on the watch that I'm doing it on. And the reason why is because when you have a screw back case like this one, you can strip the screw or the case that the screw sits in. Actually, I was not able to tighten the screws. So later on, I found out that it was leaking because I could not tighten down the screws. I would only do it with those twist off case backs. You can do what you wish, but I learned my lesson the hard way. I will never buy another quartz watch that has these screw backs. Where they have individual screws. They are just an absolute nightmare. Now, this watch turned out incredible, and as you'll see right here, you've got the clarity of a watch that has anti-reflective coating, the best in the world. You can see this watch better than any anti-reflective watch that has, it doesn't matter how many coatings. The oil-filled watch will always trump the anti-reflective coated watch by far in regards to its clarity, which is why people like to do it. Now, I did it with absolutely no bubble, so you'll see no bubble whatsoever. Now, when you see some of the watches like the U-boat, for instance, now this is a welder watch. Welder is actually It's not owned by a U-boat, but it's actually the same designer that actually designed Welder. When you see these U-boat watches, you'll see that bubble. And that bubble's there for a reason, because if you're doing deep saturating diving, it gives it a little bit, when it gets pressurized, it gives that, it's not filled to the brim. So it gives it just a little bit of room so that for expansion, so that the sapphire crystal does not blow off. But here we're not doing any type of diving, okay? So I wanted to fill this up to the brim and give it the best clarity possible without any bubbles, and I have to say I am extremely happy with this. Sadly though, the watch did leak later, and I was not able to fix it because the screws actually stripped the case, so I was never able to tighten this case. But I wanted to at least share this video with you and show you how easy it is to oil fill a watch. Thanks for watching. God bless.